welcome back to the main stand. It's been a little bit without the boys. It's episode 16. We're right in the midst of the World Cup. Match day 3 is coming to a close, so we know most of the knockouts now. This is the first time we've really been together in podcast form since the United States first game.
Yeah.
Or maybe even before that. I don't know if we've done a pod since the first game.
We didn't.
We haven't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, we took Thanksgiving break. We're allowed to, guys. We used our PTO. And now we're back at it. What a couple weeks of footy. This World Cup has had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of surprises. Josh, I see you in the kit. We know you're going to be talking about it today. I mean, so I generally have a gripe with international football. I think most of us do, where it's kind of like the quality feels a little bit low. Some of it feels boring, but this World Cup has been crazy. This has been a really, really good tournament, and it's only been, 3 match days for most of the groups. There's still games to play as of time of recording, but I've loved the World Cup so far. I don't know about you guys.
Started off a bit slow, I would say. I think match day 1 was a little bit slow. When you look at the goals scored and stuff, I think the average goals scored was skewed a little bit based on some, early matches with Spain and England kind of running up the goals. The under on like 2.5 goals is hitting quite a bit, which means there's just been less goals. But the games have all been really close. We're getting a lot of underdogs, which I think all like to see here, especially at the main stand.
Oh yeah,
love a good underdog
and yeah,
story.
The games have just been getting better. Especially this match day 3, the past couple days, my heart rate is just through the roof.
The roof, man. Yeah. I mean,
very exciting. Yes.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I like I said, I've really, really been enjoying this World Cup here. I mean, I think order of operations for right now is what's been the team so far for you guys, the team to watch, the team that surprised you, who've really come out of the gates and made you think like, holy shit, they're a force.
I mean,
honestly,
I'll let Mitch go.
Honestly, I want to say our U.S. side has surprised me a lot, especially in these last 2 games against England and Iran. It's been phenomenal to watch the second youngest side in the World Cup, if not the youngest. Second youngest. It's been great young leadership from Tyler Adams, this core group of guys, and then obviously most recently Pulisic putting his balls on the line for America. It's been fun to watch a U.S. team, and it feels good. They've been very exciting. I think they are performing or outperforming, I think, what a lot of people are giving them credit.
I would agree with that. Yeah, Josh, what about you?
Well, I'll add on Mitch's point. I mean, the U.S. not allowing a goal from open play that's really impressive, especially considering England and Iran. I mean, they sat back against Iran the last 30 minutes, so really impressive. I like that shout, Mitch. I think even as a neutral, U.S. have been impressive. But I got to ride with my Japanese boys. Best kit in the World Cup and one of the most exciting teams. I was on Japan early, I feel like. I was really encouraging people to believe a little bit in Japan. And they really killed me with that result against Costa Rica in match day 2. Costa Rica had just 0.1 expected goals on the night and stole all 3 points. It was tough. A lot of people thought Japan weren't going to qualify after that. And they played the exact same game plan. You got to run the classics back. They attacked Spain the exact way they attacked Germany, pressing high, forcing turnovers high up the pitch, hitting them quick after halftime, letting them get that goal early, get a little bit comfortable. And Japan has the attackers to kind of put you on the back foot in the second half when your legs are a little bit heavier. I don't know how Moriyasu, the manager, is doing this either without playing Takumi Minamino more. He obviously made the difference against Germany. He hasn't played really the last 2 matches. He's bringing Tomiyasu off the bench. Takafusa Kubo just got, I think, his first start in the World Cup today. He's leaving some of his best players on the bench and still getting massive results against 2 of the best sides in Europe. What a team, what a country, and a team I can't wait to watch more in this World Cup.
Hell yeah. My team has been, I think it's a team that today shocked the world. Morocco. They have been electric to watch. Hakeem Ziyech is like a brand new player. When he puts on a Morocco kit, they've been really, really, really solid at the back. You've got Hakimi, Saiss back there has been really good. In the midfield, Amrabat has impressed me every single time I've watched him play. Boufal has been electric down the wing for them as well. I've been a really huge Morocco guy this World Cup. I'm really happy Josh sold me on them in the preview we did for this team. But yeah, I've been super impressed with Morocco, and I really hope that they continue going forward in this World Cup and continue to shock some people. I think teams would be very the word is escaping me, dumb for lack of a better term, to go into any game against Morocco in the knockout stages thinking that it's an easy win. I think Morocco have been really, really good, and they've really impressed me, especially winning that group where, a couple of us said they might not get out, and all of us had Belgium as clear favorites, and look at that.
Yeah, 6 to 7 clean sheets too, which is really, really impressive from their defense. They're a hard draw in the next round. I think they're the first African side to win their World Cup group too. I could be wrong about that. But
we'll check the logistics. Get back to you guys on that
one. So we did kind of the dark horse, the what's been a positive surprise. Let's go around and give your kind of team that was a little bit underwhelming in the group stage so far. So probably a team that's played, all three. Who's been your underwhelming team of the tournament?
Belgium.
They looked bad.
I mean, it's a toss-up between Belgium and Germany, honestly. Yeah. But man, Belgium, the golden generation, right? Like that, the generation that's hailed as like the best ever in Belgian football. And it just came apart at the seams. It didn't really look like they were a cohesive unit. You can chalk it up to a number of things, but just for them to not even get out of the group is absurd. Honestly, man.
They're fucking old.
They're very old. And it's really tough to sit here and be like, it's all Lukaku's fault. But I think overall, they were really, really poor. Credit to Morocco, because I've been really high on them. And this is taking nothing away from them. But Belgium were so bad in that 2-0 they lost to Morocco. De Bruyne gave the ball away, I think it was 27 times in a World Cup match. And, again, it doesn't help that in that must-win game today against, wow, this is rough, Croatia. They're creating chances. They're doing all these things. They're making a lot of effort. And they looked like they were going to win that game. And then Lukaku comes off the bench to, supposed to change the game. A guy who called himself the best striker in the world a couple months ago, and he misses 4 open nets.
He was brought in quite literally to be that guy, and he didn't show up to do his job today.
He could have scored 4 goals.
He had more XG in his cameo than Belgium had in the rest of the tournament combined.
It's insane, man. And to have that happen at that stage with the talent that's in that Belgium team is just, yeah, man. Belgium is this golden generation of Belgium has just been FIFA rankings and vibes. They've given us no moments. They've given us absolutely nothing. I guess looking back on it, it's not that surprising, but I had them winning the group, so it's a little like shocking at the same time to me. I don't know. They're a weird team, and it's just so disappointing, man. Just the way they've played this whole tournament.
I'll go next with this one, and I'm going to break my own rule. I'm going to pick a team. I have 2 teams, actually. My first one's only played 2 games, but a team that's been dreadful to watch so far, Uruguay. That was one we had as a potential dark horse. Even I did. Man, they've sucked. They have that attacking trio of Nunez, Cavani, Suarez. I think they've got 6 shots on target. They only have like 1.8 expected goals in their first 2 games. The defense hasn't been bad, but now they're going to fight on the last day, and they're probably not going to get anything out of it. They a really, really disappointing showing from Uruguay. And then one that's not been as bad in terms of Belgium or Uruguay, but Mexico as well. This World Cup has to go down as a big L for them. Obviously sacking Tata last night. think it's their first World Cup in 8 that they go out in the group stages as well.
Correct.
So it's just a tragic kind of 2-year spell for Mexico where they've absolutely fallen down the spectrum of world football.
I have two comments before Mitch goes, just on your two things there. One, so you could say it's L tree. Thanks. I'll be here all week. Anyway, second thing, I think Uruguay have been a tad unlucky in their games.
Okay.
Woodwork 3 times, and despite their offense being kind of meh and their defense just being the Uruguayan defense, I think their midfield has been really, really, really exciting to watch. I think Bentancur has been one of the best players in the tournament to date. At the moment, been one of the better midfielders in the tournament, and I think Valverde as well has been really, really, really good for Uruguay. I think the finishing has let them down, which is why I agree with you. They've been a little disappointing, but I do think that midfield that they have been a very bright spot. I think if they played that 4-4-2 that they switched into in the second half of the most recent game they played, who they played is escaping me, but I think if they played that for the full 90, they would have won that game.
For sure. Mitch, do you have a team that's underwhelming?
I do, and it might be a little surprising or may come off as harsh, but I'm going to also stick in Group F and say Canada. I expected a little bit more out of that side, albeit their first World Cup appearance. I was impressed with how Alphonso Davies handled himself throughout their spell, but letting in 7 goals isn't helping. The system that they had was confusing. It seemed like as soon as they felt any sort of pressure on the back foot, they'd really sell out and go in this ultra attack, throwing Alphonso Davies up top, and then just poor finishing from the likes of David. Tajon Buchanan looked promising in the midfield for them, but disappointing at the back for sure from Canada, especially from the captain spot, making a huge mistake in goal today to really see them home.
I would very much agree with that. A team that after winning CONCACAF, a lot of people had as a team that could shock a lot of people. And then, like you said, Mitch, not winning a game, conceding 7, they were not particularly good at this World Cup. And, see you next year, or see you in 4 years.
Very
maybe.
Promising young team. I feel like they're just 4 years behind where the U.S. was. It seems like they have good, young, strong talent, but it just wasn't enough cohesiveness with the veteran leadership to see them through. I think there was just kind of a generational or a systemic gap there. They'll
I think
they'll work that out.
I think they found their level in CONCACAF. I think it's an experience thing ultimately. I don't think that a lot of those guys could get up for the moment. Just, like you said, first World Cup, it's tough for them. And then it's just, like you looking at the US side, for example, they know the pressure that's on them, and they have stepped up to that pressure. And a lot of guys play in Europe, start in Europe, are kind of used to these bigger moments. So it's just kind of I agree with you. I think they are about a cycle behind the US, and they'll be there again next World Cup in 2026.
I would agree with that as well. In terms of individual players, any young guys or guys that have been a surprise for you that you guys have really liked in this tournament? I know I'll throw it right back to Mitch because I know Mitch has one.
Oh, I do too. Mitch, you can go. We're going to probably be agreeing on this person, and I could sing their praises all day, but go. Say his name.
Tyler fucking Adams.
Tyler Adams. I'd die for him. I'd take a fucking bullet for Tyler.
I was throwing you the alley-oop on that, Mitch, because we talked about this guy the other day, and it wasn't Tyler Adams.
No, Tyler Adams has been exciting. Who are you thinking?
Cody Gakpo.
Oh, Cody Gakpo. Yeah, no. Also, my shout for the Golden Boot boy. He has been very exciting and very fun to watch. My mind was with that entire Ecuadorian team. While you were saying,
just which one?
Plata, Valencia. They were very, very, very exciting to watch. Unfortunate where they got placed. Just losing out to Senegal and going home early, but that Ecuadorian side was really, really fun. Cody Gakpo has been phenomenal, and I'll let you guys say some names now because I'm just excited about.
I want to talk about the U.S. for a second, real quick.
Let's go.
Tyler Adams has been the best midfielder at the World Cup in the group stage, bar none. There's not been a midfielder better than Tyler Adams in the World Cup. I'll die on that hill. He's been exceptional. Every single time there was an attack from Iran, from Wales, from England, you think that they're either through on goal or creating a good chance. They're breaking into the midfield, and then there's this little blue dot or this little white dot that just flies onto the screen and breaks up the play. Tyler Adams has been everywhere this World Cup. I think he has been so good. He put on that captain's armband. He said, "I am here. I am ready to play. I know what's expected of me. I know what my level is." And this is the guy who, when he was playing in Leipzig years ago, I read to do a soccer blog at Husson University, and I put Tyler Adams as my #1 player to watch for the U.S. upcoming, and he is showing it now. I am so happy to see Tyler Adams balling out at this World Cup, singing my praises for the man. Like I said, I would take a bullet for Tyler Adams, and I would get in a bar fight for Yunus Musa because he has been equally impressive. That midfield, our midfield, the three, it's like Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. It is just chef kiss. We have been electric. I love this U.S. midfield right now. I am talking like Alexi Lawless, and I could not be happier with the side. I love our midfield. Josh, your turn.
They're killers. We'll get back to the U.S. men's national team too here in a minute or two. I have two guys that have been nice surprises. First one, Enzo Fernandez, Argentina. He's going to have a big price tag in the winter, I would think. He came on and scored that second goal against Mexico, that nice little curler. He's a really, really exciting talent, versatile player, can do a lot of things. And then my other one's Gvardiol, Croatia. He's came in that defense and shored that up. Wow, did he play good today as well.
That slide tackle at the end of the game.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Phenomenal.
He is going to have a big price tag to his name as well. I think he's going to go to the Prem. You know, Liverpool's been floated around, Chelsea.
Chelsea were after him last summer, though.
What was that?
Chelsea were after him last summer, no?
Chelsea were really close to signing him last summer, so I think there's going to be some big clubs flirting around for him. He's a proper defender, and I think he's going to be in the Prem probably next year.
Ode to Bass, but our buddy Bass in our group chat said first $100 million defender, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So those are some young players I think that we've all agreed have stood out in this World Cup. We'll switch gears now and get right into the U.S. men's national team. It's the first time, again, we've talked on air about the USA. Obviously, the 1-1 draw against Wales, 0-0 against England, and then 1-0 against Iran. What are your guys, and I know we've kind of touched on this already, but your biggest takeaways of this USA team and the overall grade of how this group stage has gone?
Okay. I have a lot maybe not a lot to say, but I've got some opinions.
We have time.
So my first thought, and this might be the biggest shock of the podcast just to date. I don't hate Greg.
Oh,
I don't hate Greg. I didn't like his substitutions in against Iran on the last day. I'll completely say that. And I don't like how he's keeping Gio Reyna out of the side. I don't know what the politics are about that, but apparently he's healthy and just not playing, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Outside of that, I think all of his team, all of his sheets, all of his starting 11s have been really, really solid. He's got guys playing where they should play, and he's getting a good amount, not the best. He's getting a good amount out of this U.S. side right now. So Greg is not off my shit list, but he's moved up a little bit in terms of he's close to getting off is what I'm trying to say. He's almost there. I don't hate the guy yet. He's no Jurgen Klinsmann for me, but I don't hate the guy.
Would a quarterfinal do it for you?
I think so. A quarterfinal and a
would fucking better do it.
A quarterfinal and a good showing against probably Argentina. And Greg has won my affections if he can do that for us. Outside of that, I think defensively we've been incredible. I think our fullbacks have been the really bright spot of the back four. I mean, I think our center backs have been good too. I think Tim Ream has been exceptional at center back for us, which is why we're going to beat the Netherlands because our man bun is better. But Serginho Dest and Anthony Robinson at fullback have been exceptional. I don't need to talk about the midfield anymore. We know how I feel. And our forwards have left a little bit to be desired, but They've scored when they've needed to. Tim Way has been really, really energetic down the right. Pulisic has been really, really good. I wish we had like settled on a striker. I think that's like the biggest omission in the team. I think if we had a guy like Pifok or Pepe in the side, we might be scoring a few more of these chances. But overall, I'm very happy with this U.S. side. I'm going to give us an 8.4 in the group
Matt
stage.
Turner too. You didn't mention Matt Turner. He's been ice cold in net. I think.
Oh yeah, he's been exceptional. You know,
left and right.
A guy who was #1 on the Sports Center not top 10 a few years ago, considered quitting soccer, only started playing in high school, and now he's the starting goalie in the World Cup. So
Crazy.
Hats off to Matt Turner. I love you. Thanks for being so good for the Revolution and the last time we were a good team.
Fair show. I see where you're coming from with the Greg stuff. I do think he has potential to kind of right some wrongs here. He's a little bit in the Southgate situation, though, of like, if you look at his tenure, we won the CONCACAF Champions League or whatever it was, the Gold Cup, and now you're in the round of 16 at the World Cup with a chance to make a big upset. That's a really successful tenure, just like Southgate's at England, but he's frustrating as a manager. What I will say that Berhalter's improved on at this tournament is his pre-match planning, I think his tactics before the game, and pretty much his managerial skills up until about the 60th minute, I think have been spot on. His starting lineups have been really good in my opinion too. I think bringing Cameron Carter-Vickers into the side was a super smart move in the last game, a big risk and one that paid off. But he's faltering in the final third for me. And in a game against the Netherlands, where it's probably, in my opinion, going to go the full 120 minutes, he's going to have to go into his back pocket and use some subs and be a little bit daring and make some risks. I don't like him bringing on Shaq Moore. Kellen Acosta I'm a fan of, but he hasn't really done it at this World Cup. You have to start looking at other options, and I think that's where we go from here. But in terms of the group stage, I give it an 8.5. I think it's hard to really do much better. If you fix that individual error against Wales, you leave the group on 7 points. We ended up leaving on 5 with 1 goal conceded. That was a penalty. It's hard to really be that.
Yeah, no goals from open play.
No goals from open play.
Huge. I'll settle in and I'll give him a flat 8, and I think it is purely just because of all the external drama behind the Gio situation, the lack of kind of solidification up top. It is frustrating when you see these beautiful balls streaking across the top of the box and there's nobody there to finish it, or there's just like one missing link to shore up a rebound. So I think if we got a little bit of Gio, that would be phenomenal. I think everybody and their mother is asking for it at this point. I also kind of want to see a little bit more out of Aaronsson. I don't think he's gotten enough in the situations that he's been put in, but I love his hustle. I love his grittiness, and I think him and Tyler link up well just because of their club history together and the amount of time they play together. And I think that could be a little key to success, in my opinion, moving into a game with some pretty heavy hitters in the Netherlands.
Loving grittiness and hustle is the most fucking American thing you could say about a player, and I love it.
Fuck yeah.
World Cup is a great time to be overtly American.
Oh yeah, trust me, I will be. Until we're not here anymore, I'm on board, baby. I am bleeding red, white, and blue.
Do we want to get right into USA Netherlands then? Or are we at that point in the podcast?
Yeah, I think it's time to preview this bad boy. Josh, Mr. Logistics Man, we'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, it's a big one for the USA here, but I think there's upset potential. Again, the chips are kind of stacked against us. The Netherlands, I think, haven't lost a game since early 2021, 15-5-0. Since that, we haven't beaten a European opponent since Portugal 0-2. It's a big ask, but it's one we can do. The Netherlands were in a really weak group with Senegal, Sadio Mane lists Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar. Probably the weakest group in the field, in my opinion. And their offense really isn't firing. Gakpo scored 3. on just an expected goal ratio of 0.3, which kind of shows a little bit of luck there on the Netherlands' part. Memphis Depay just played 65 minutes in the last game. He's just getting up to full strength, and he really doesn't scare me that much. He's not Harry Kane, that's for sure. We already played that England offense and did really well handling them. The question about this game is how we break down that Netherlands back five, if we can do it. Three really strong center backs that both me and Mitch and Pat are familiar with, Prem guys. It's going to be tough to break them down. And like I said, I think it's going to go the distance. I think we're going to have to bring on some subs. Obviously, I'm favoring the U.S. to advance here, though. And what a moment it would be if we could. In comedy's sake, I do have 3 keys to the match, which I shared with you guys earlier. My 3 keys to the match are: 1, we win the color matchup. Red, white, and blue is way better than orange. I don't see us losing to a team that wears orange. I think the Netherlands are still scared of Bobby Wood, so, I mean, they're going up against Pulisic. You know, we won that last tie in 2015, 4-3. Jesse Zardes, Bobby Wood, the legend Bobby Wood. But what are the Netherlands thinking about, 2 days before the match? I mean, they're probably sweating in their boots. And then 3, we have a guy whose balls are made of literal steel. It's tough to beat, an American with balls of steel. Those are the 3 keys to the game, in my opinion. We'll see if the U.S. can do anything with it.
I got a 4th key, and it's my wild card. I'm saying Serginho Dest is going to be the most important on the pitch.
He's a sleeper cell. Sleeper cell.
I think he's going to have a big ask shutting down Gakpo on the left side. I think he's going to need to help Tyler shut down Frankie de Jong, who's been a very solid midfielder this World Cup cycle so far. They're playing a lot of their offense through him. That back right side of our defensive line is going to need to show up for sure, I think.
Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh hit the nail on the head. We win the color matchup. They're scared of a guy who plays for the New England Revolution now. And, I think at the end of the day, we can do it. I really think the U.S. can do it. In like a more serious, like, footballing conversation, I think as good as the Netherlands have been in the group stage, they've shown they leak goals. They've conceded goals. They're good, but they get scored on. They've been scored on. Qatar scored a goal on them, right? Am I tripping? Yeah, Qatar scored a goal on them, and Qatar were dog shit, right? I know I had them going through. I was fucking wrong. They're terrible. They're not impenetrable. They have 3 really strong center backs. They can get caught out on the counter. Their midfield isn't, it's not the midfield that got to the World Cup final in 2010. You know what I mean? It's not that Netherlands. They're a really strong side. They have a lot of really good players, and I'm not saying that the U.S. is going to go out and fucking mollywop them, but I'm gonna put myself on the line here. USA 1-0 in 90 minutes.
Wow. That's a bold call, and I like it. How much of a factor do you think the right-hand side of our offense plays in this match? We have Dest on the right and probably Aronson or Weah, maybe.
I imagine it'll be Weah.
Going up against Daley Blind, I have to say that's probably the weakest part of this Netherlands team, is him at left back.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the U.S. could take advantage of that and really expose the fact that Daley Blind doesn't really have a ton of speed in his legs, and he's a good defender. Don't get me wrong, he's a seasoned veteran pro. He's an ex-United player, so fuck him, but he's a veteran for sure. I think we've seen a lot of success from the U.S. standpoint down our right in every single game. I think Dest combining with Weah or whoever drifts out onto the right side has been really, really good. Our goal came from Serginho Dest, making one of those underlapping runs into the box, knocking a ball across for Pulisic to score on. I think the right side of our offense is arguably going to be the most important part of the pitch. That being said, I think Anthony Robinson has put in a lot of really good balls. I think he's been a workhorse down the U.S. left. I think that if we win the battle anywhere, we're going to win it on the wings. I think I like our wingers into their fullbacks for the most part, and I really like our fullbacks. I think our fullbacks are better than their fullbacks. I'm just gonna put it into the ether. I really do think they are. So I think we can definitely win the match there. It's a matter of, will there ever be an opportunity where player X has somehow drifted in between Van Dijk and Ake and can find open space? It's going to be few and far between, but can the U.S. take their chances? Because they're going to get a couple. They will make chances. It won't be a game where the Netherlands, play this like they don't play that style of ball. We'll get our opportunities. It's, can we take them? And can we maintain the intensity that we've maintained these past couple of games? If the U.S. play like they played against England for a full 90 minutes, we can win this game. There's no doubt in my mind we can win this game. I do also think that if we get a lead, Greg can't play scared. If we play scared, we're going to lose the game. And that's what lost us the game against Wales. That's what put all that pressure on us against Iran. I think we can't play scared because that's what they want us to do, because they will come back into the game. And then we won't be able to get out from under it once we're under the pressure and we've conceded one after already being 1-0 up.
Yeah, which is what the England game was. We didn't play scared that full 90 minutes. England wanted the whistle to blow at full time. That's how we need to attack the Netherlands. Like Pat said, that game against Iran, if that's any other team, we probably equalize and we drop out of the World Cup. So that's really important. The other area of the pitch I'm really kind of looking for, the midfield battle is going to be fascinating in this one. Frankie de Jong on the other side. Netherlands have some really good talents in the middle. That's going to be a good. De Jong
is Tyler Adams' boots.
I love that. It's going to be a fun one to watch, though. Probably one of the more evenly matched games in this one, or in the knockout stages.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm excited to see Weston McKennie after a few games. It feels like he's finally getting back to pace. If we can get the Weston McKennie that we were getting that was balling out in the Gold Cup, I'm going to feel really, really good.
That weighted ball to Dest.
Incredible. If we can get that, he looks like he's finally finding his feet, getting back into his stride, getting into the rhythm of things. So if this is the game for McKennie to say, yeah, I'm back, then we've got it. Like I said, I'm saying 1-0 USA in 90 minutes.
Well, you heard it here first on the Main Stand Podcast, Season 2, Episode 16. Any final thoughts, guys?
Christian Pulisic is a cock made of steel.
Cock made of steel. Let's fucking go. I'm so excited to hear some positivity come out of Pat's mouth about the U.S. men's national team. I had to be the bright spot, which is weird because it's usually the other way around. I'm usually the pessimist, but I've been riding with my boys from the U.S., and it has been such a fun World Cup so far.
Yep. Up the States, up Japan, up the Morocco. Meet us at Gritty McDuff's for the official watch party. That's where everyone's going to be. It's the place to be. We're going to be doing some content, some reactions. You'll hear from us on social media, and we'll be back next week.
We'll be there all day, too, for what it's worth. At least I will. I'm going to watch the Argentina-Australia game after the U.S. game, so I'll be there for a majority of the day. Probably don't talk to me after the U.S. game, regardless of the results. I'm either going to be sloshed or sloshed. Just either going to be happy or sad sloshed, so...
Probably see us at the bar either way. You'll hear from us next week, though. Hopefully happy reactions. But keep up with the socials. Like and subscribe to the YouTube. Share the video. Share it with your friends. All that good stuff. We'll see you next week.
Deuces.
Peace.